Welcome to my kitchen. Today I'm going to make you a fantastic stir-fry dish that features garbanzo beans and fresh herbs like basil, cilantro, and oregano. I like stir-fry dishes because they're so quick to make, they're easy, and you don't cook the food too long, so we retain so many of the essential enzymes and nutrients. You know, the secret to a good stir-fry is really just the prep work. You want to cut all your vegetables and have them near the stove so you add them quickly. You won't have time to stop and slice as you go because, this cooks quick. The recipe that I'm preparing for you today works well in a skillet or a wok. I'm using my chef's pan with the slanted sides, which you can see. This is just really my favorite pan. I love it because you can push the cooked food up the sides of the pan, allowing the new additions down here next to the heat. It works really, really well. Now, we're going to start by heating the pan, which I've done. You always want to remember, heat your pan, then add your oil, not the other way around. So I've heated my pan. It seems to be pretty good. So we're going to add our olive oil. And I'm just going to let that get hot for just a moment. And see, it's already starting to sizzle. We know that's good. So we know it's ready. Now we're going to add our fresh herbs. I love oregano. Let's talk about that first. All right, I've got oregano. There we go. Oh, the aroma is just fantastic. I think oregano is really one of those miraculous herbs of nature with so many health benefits. Did you know oregano has 42 times the antioxidant activity of apples? I couldn't believe it when I learned that. It's also a good source of iron, manganese, vitamin C, and is a very potent antifungal. Now let's add some basil. Basil is just fantastic as well. It's also an important anti-inflammatory and has natural antibiotic properties as well. Then we'll add our garlic. I like to add my garlic sort of towards the end because I don't want to burn it. Now talk about a heart-healthy spice. Garlic is fantastic. Did you know that it can help lower blood pressure? And it lowers the harmful cholesterol in our system. And it's anti-inflammatory. Listen to all these good things. High in vitamin C, which helps conditions like asthma and osteoarthritis. Now that this is sauteed a little bit, we're going to add garbanzos. Garbanzos are fantastic. We'll just stir that up. I want to coat it really good with the oil. And then my zucchini. Now at home I would put a lid on this and let that just simmer up for about 10 minutes. You know, you don't think of garbanzos as a stir-fry food, but wait till you taste this dish. It is just fantastic. Garbanzos are a really good source of protein. Who would have thought? They come in at 15 grams of protein per cup. They're very high in dietary fiber, copper, folate, manganese. Fantastic. You know, garbanzos are really good for the diabetic, so if you have a diabetic in your family, you're going to want to make this dish. They help prevent blood sugar levels from rising too rapidly after a meal. And here's another tip on garbanzos. When you combine them with a whole grain at your meal, such as brown rice, they provide a high-quality protein that's so important when you're maintaining your optimum health. Now let's talk a bit about the zucchini. Zucchini is one of our healthiest summer vegetables. Not only are they a good source of fiber and protein, but they're rich in vitamins and minerals as well. Now that looks really good. See how it's coated with the oil? So now I'm ready to add another addition. I'm going to add my mushrooms. I like to use baby bellas, cremini mushrooms, or whatever mushrooms you can find. Experiment with different ones, whatever variety that your family likes. Mushrooms add a deep flavor, and they're a great source of iron and zinc, which also help stabilize blood sugar. They have so many minerals, I use them whenever I can. I'm just going to let that saute down for just a moment and coat with the oil before I add my next addition. This dish is so fantastic, I got to tell you. A few weeks ago, my parents were visiting from out of state, and I was preparing this dish for the show. So my daughter and I said, hey, let's make it for Grandma and Grandpa. If they love it, we know it's going to be a hit. My dad loved it so much, he had seconds. Also, he does have diabetes, so I felt good about being able to make something that was really good for him. Okay, now you can see that's kind of cooking down. So let's add one large chopped tomato and some fresh cilantro. Put my tomato. Cilantro is such a good flavor. Okay, we'll just let that stew for a moment. Get that all mixed in. Look at the beautiful color. I mean, just look at that. Isn't it great? You know, healthy cooking is really fun, especially when you're exploring and experimenting. Look at that pretty color. So I would let that cook down for 2 or 3 minutes. So that way you want to get the flavors to meld together. You don't want to go too fast. Tomatoes are actually rated as a 5-star food. Did you know that? Because they're so high in minerals like thiamine, riboflavin, niacin, folate. I mean, who would have thought? And they're a good source of your antioxidants, A and C, as well as potassium and manganese. And of course, vine ripened or best. Isn't it nice just to be able to go out in your backyard and pick out a tomato, a big plump one for a dish like this? However, here's a tip that you're going to want to know. If you're avoiding nightshade vegetables because you are suffering from an autoimmune disease or something like arthritis, so you're trying to cut those out, don't be afraid to go ahead and substitute a yellow summer squash for the tomato. You still have the great taste, and it's fantastic. Now that's it for this dish. Isn't that beautiful? To serve this, you can either serve it over brown rice for an entree, or you can serve it as a side dish. You do want to serve it right from the stove, steaming hot. It's fantastic that way. So we will just take our plate and we'll come over here. Oh, how pretty. And we'll just serve up some. This is fantastic when it's combined and put at the table with hummus. I don't know if you know what hummus is. It's great. It's actually a garbanzo dip. With that and pita crisps, oh, it's fantastic. Then I'll put that down here and add a little fresh cilantro as a garnish. I mean, what could be, no dish is complete without some pretty toppings. Look at that. Now, another thing you could do at home, you could top it with some cheeses and some other things if you want to. Just experiment. But look at this. This is my hummus over here with the pita crisps to show you. That is fantastic with it. I hope you enjoy this one. It is really healthy cooking at its best. And for a copy of this recipe, go to my website, healthycookingwithcindy.com, print it off, enjoy it. Don't go away. We're going to be right back for more of your health.